and welcome to the lesson. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about Canada's role in the Second World War. Some people call it World War II. We'll be working from page 23 in your Discover Canada guide. Canada joined World War II with its democratic partners to fight against Adolf Hitler and Nazism in Europe. We know the war started in 1939 and ended in 1945. More than 1 million Canadians and Newfoundlanders served in the war, and 44,000 were killed. Some big losses for Canada were in Hong Kong in 1941 and Dieppe in France in 1942. Canada was very famous in World War II for air defense. The Royal Canadian Air Force, or RCAF, provided a high number of aircrew and fighter planes over Europe. Canada contributed the most aircrew, 130,000, and those were trained in Canada. So they provided more than any other Allied Commonwealth country. The Royal Canadian Navy protected merchant ships from German submarine attacks and also helped feed, clothe, and resupply Britain during the war. World War II also had battles in the Pacific. Japan invaded the west coast of North America with attacks on a lighthouse in British Columbia and launched fire balloons in BC and the prairies. Japan surrendered on August 14, 1945, ending 4 years of war in the Pacific. In British Columbia, people developed strong feelings against the Japanese people, and Japanese Canadians were relocated by force. Their properties were taken and sold by the government, and they were not given the money. The Canadian government apologized for these wartime wrongs and returned money to victims in 1988. Now let's look at the top of page 23, where you see a painting of the D-Day invasion. This was a large invasion of Normandy in northern France on June 6, 1944. 15,000 Canadian troops invaded and captured Juno Beach from the German army, a huge achievement. 1 in 10 soldiers for the Allied forces against Germany was Canadian. The Canadian Army liberated the Netherlands in 1944 and 45 and helped force the German surrender on May 8, 1945, the end of World War II. We've reached the end of our history lesson, so now let's look at a timeline to review some of the important dates to remember starting from the 1900s. So this timeline is going to include some of the dates we talked about in our previous lesson about World War I. If we start our timeline at 1900, the first thing we see is Canada's involvement with the Boer War in South Africa in 1899 to 1902. Next, we will show World War I from 1914 to 1918. Let's also show the Battle of Vimy Ridge in 1917. Next, we should add women getting the right to vote in 1918 and Agnes MacPhail becoming the first woman Member of Parliament in 1921. We should show the years of the Roaring Twenties in the 1920s and then the Dirty 30s, or the Great Depression in the 1930s. World War II began in 1939 and went until 1945. We should also add the important date of June 6, 1944, and the D-Day invasion at Juno Beach. And here we are at the end of Module 4. We've completed all of the lessons that are focused on Canada's history. Always remember that you can go back and replay and review these lessons as much as you need to. Also, I encourage you to try the activities and quizzes. Okay, see you in the next module.